Happy Sabbath Church. This morning I'm going to briefly talk about the life of the camel. This animal is also known as the sheep of the desert. I'm now heading to the desert in Egypt to see the camels. I'm now in Egypt. Not only it is difficult for humans to survive in deserts, it is also hard for animals, plants, and other forms of life to live. Here, creatures must seize every opportunity to find food, shelter, and water. Adaptability is the key to life in the desert. It's 8 a.m. in the morning, the temperature is 35 degrees. It's hot, it's sunny, the winds are blowing. The sand dunes can be 100 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. So we can imagine the survival of life in this weather condition. The camel is an important animal of the desert because it can travel long distances with very little water. There are two types of camels. The dromedary camel is known as the Arabian camel, which has one hump and are found in the Arabian Peninsula and North Africa, India, and several other countries. Next is the Bactrian camel, which has two humps and lives in Central Asia, especially in Mongolia and China. The camel has a strong, heavy body and can carry about 150 to 300 kilograms. Its feet are flat and wide, and its long legs helps to keep its body farther away from the hot ground. It has wide eyes, which gives good visibility during day and night. The camel has a strong sense of hearing. Its thick coat also reflects sunlight, which helps to keep it from overheating. It has long eyelashes and a clear inner eyelid, which protects the eye from the sandstorm. It has hair in the opening of the ear to help stop blowing sand from filling into its ears. It can also close its nostrils. The camel lives on grass, tree leaves, mellow bushes, grains, and fruits, as well as other plants. It can eat thorny plants and dry grass, which many animals are not able to. It has strong teeth, which can withstand while it chews them. It has strong, thick lips to effectively pick up dry thorns. The camel has an amazing ability to endure thirst. When they reach a water hole, they will drink up to 135 liters of water in about 10 minutes. They can then continue on the desert journey. The hump is the most distinctive feature. It stores fat with a pyramid-like shape on its back. During the winter and spring, it can live from 2 to 4 months without drinking any water. And in the hot summer, it can endure thirst for up to 6 to 10 days. The camel can efficiently maintain water in its body, and it loses only a small percentage of it. The camel never breathes from its mouth, and it never pants no matter how hot it may be. Thus, it avoids the evaporations of large quantity of water from its body through its mouth. It does not perspire except when the temperature of its body exceeds about 41 degrees. The average life expectancy of a camel is about 40 to 50 years. The camels are used in some army and police forces. It is also used in camel races. It is used for milk, which is high quality. It gives taste and easy to digest. It is used in treating many illnesses, especially abdominal and liver diseases. The camel's hair is used for making such as clothes, bedsheets, shoes, and handbags. Finally, many tourists take a ride when they visit the desert. Well, church, you must be wondering as to why I'm talking about this amazing animal. What is this in relation to us? What significant importance are there that we as Christians can learn from this particular animal? Church, we know that God created the camel to adapt to the desert life. The camel is mentioned in the Bible about 50 times, indicating the importance according to the biblical times. If you remember Job, he owned about 3,000 camels and 7,000 sheep and other animals as well. No other animal can live at the same time carrying such burdens in such a dry and hot climate with less supplies of water and food. It's a desert animal and can survive in the wilderness when other animals would be perishing. The Bible makes a special mention about the camels in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 24. It says, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God." The interpretation that seems to make sense is this: The eye of the needle was indeed a narrow gateway into Jerusalem. Since camels were heavily loaded with goods and riders, they would need to be unloaded in order to pass through the gateway. Therefore, the analogy is that a rich man would have to similarly unload his material possessions in order to enter heaven. Doing so points us toward the key issue. Entry into heaven is via faith in Christ, through His grace and power, and through trusting in Him. Trusting, focusing, relying and living in our earthly wealth, savings and expensive worldly material possessions only makes it more difficult to trust in God. We need to trust no one except God. We cannot serve both God and mammon. The camel is one of the most powerful symbols of endurance, strength and persistence. It represents incredible patience and steadiness. It also considers a symbol of sacrifices. Just like the camel, we too need to make certain adjustments and sacrifices in our life in order to advance. If you and I need to enter the gates of heaven, just like the camel, we too need to unload some of our earthly wealth, riches, and the love for it. Thank you and God bless.